Hello there. And, well, this is me, I suppose, or as I will be presenting myself in many of these lectures. And I thought I would start a small series regarding some concepts and tutorials and anything more into cosplay. So it'll be a bit of display and explanation, to help perhaps guide people, uh, assist them, that sort of thing. Perhaps provide some inspiration even. Now, by no means is this professional grade. I'm not some, high class career professional in making props. I'm literally somebody who has gone through trial and error and a lot of collecting over the years. So sort of a plain folk appeal of a tutorial here. But, well, I think it'll be interesting to at least give this a try. And after all, more sharing of knowledge and tips and everything is always good to bounce ideas off of one another. So I thought, why not? And after all, this is sort of serving as a catalog for everything to keep track of what I've done. But I will start with some smaller things, some more fundamentals. And that is sort of, well, how do I put this? Starting off with your concepts of what do you want to build, how are you going to build it, what can you use, what to keep an eye out for. Just some conceptual stuff. The most important things that I've learned going through this is have an open mind on all items that you see, right? Don't just look at it as, hey, this is an old part, an old screw or whatever. Think of it as, what can it become, right? What can this item become? With a little bit of elbow grease, drilling, etc., what can I turn it into? And that's always good thinking, because you'll expand your possibilities of what you can build. You'll have a large inventory of parts and tools to play with, right? Some people might say, well, yeah, that's kind of promoting a hoarding mentality, right? Not exactly, because I've collected stuff and then eventually I found I don't have a use for this, I was wrong, and I'll actually get rid of it, right? So there's always, collect responsibly, right? When it comes to items and parts. Now, what I mean by that is eventually I'll collect things and I'll actually use them for something. That's kind of the difference between what I would do and someone who's hoarding, just keeping random junk. So that's very important, to be responsible about how much you're collecting and getting rid of what you don't truly need. But that kind of goes with everything in life, right? And also what I said about an open mind about parts and interchangeability also goes into careers where, hey, I might have to fix a machine, and what can I do to substitute a part and run a bypass of some sort. Just very good common lessons that apply to both cosplay and aspects of real life. And the reason I'm starting with that is because I've met people who, let's just say they're not the brightest tool, the sharpest knife in the drawer. Creativity kind of went out the window. So, yeah, let's just leave it at that and not really get into that, but that's one of the most important things, right? Don't just simply copy things and recreate them. I mean, that's fine as a starting point, right, if you're learning. But I found it more fun to make custom builds and so forth. Or if you're making a specific character, always put your own twist on it. Because it not only challenges you, and both physically and mentally, but it personalizes it to yourself. It's like, hey, this is my interpretation of it. It's my version of it, right? So yeah, that's and a few examples I have, a few examples. particularly to the parts, right, is just a simple walking stick. Right? Just a very simple walking stick that I have. Can't really see it, but it goes about up to my waist. And this is a simple wooden dowel that I took and sort of tapered down. But this up here is actually an old lightsaber part. You know, if you ever went to Disney World or whatever, you could build the lightsabers with the different interchangeable design pieces. I just took one of the end caps, slapped it on there, filled it with some of that EVA foam that dries, and you know, you can very easily mold it, and actually pretty sturdy. So after I formed that, I kind of blended it in the paint, the shades of brown, and painted it copper and a red, stained it the rest of the way. Very simple, but it made a nice good handle for the walking stick, the cane, right? That's a simple example. A better example, let's see what I have. I had collected a few examples here. Oh my, where did I put it? Also, this is something I'm still working on, is when expanding your potential collection is organization. I have organization, it's just still kind of finding its form. Ah, here we go. So, not specifically the hammer itself, which is a handcrafted one, but more so the pommel area is what I'm interested in showing. A simple eye hook, eye screw right here, but a piece of copper pipe, a cake tip is that cone area. That's actually like a decorative cake tip, you know, for the frosting. And then the clear area is an old dome Lego piece. I glued all those together, put a screw in the center with some more of that foam clay to kind of seal the center. And then I glued the rim down and glued these together, so I kind of adhered them on the outside and the inside, correct? So it's pretty sturdy, which is very good. And it's really just decorative, if not for anything else. And then finally, perhaps a very well-known example, if you've looked at like history memes or whatever, or boys versus girls memes, like what they think and how they perceive stuff. One of my favorite pieces that I've done And also, a quick disclaimer for any of the YouTube bots that are watching. This is a prop. It is fake. It is a carved piece of wood. But a prop bolt-action rifle. Now this I made based off of a, what was I looking at when I made this? A Lee Enfield, number 4, so pretty commonly known British rifle from World War II. And there's a lot of very simple elements. The sight is just a dowel and an eye screw, right? But the best part, oh, and up here I put some of these nuts, these hex nuts up here, right? And also, let me show that part. Okay, I actually just had this part with me. I lost it. Ooh. Okay. Ah, here we go. Aha. A bayonet. Again, it's a prop. It's a piece of wood. YouTube don't kill me. Now, take a look here. Again, using everyday items, we have a simple, basically a cabinet latch. And it pops right on. Pretty simple. Now it's not, of course, flimsy, not meant to take a hit, again, because this is purely for show, but it serves its purpose. Pretty well, I might say. Alright. But the star of this whole adapting everyday items is the gate latch, right? The gate latch that I have here, I did not really get that well. Hold on here. Alright. If you've seen any of those kinds of memes, you know exactly what I mean. It's like what girls see, a regular gate latch. What boys see, a bolt action rifle. It's pretty true. And so I literally took that. I saw that meme one day, a version of it, and I literally took it and made it into reality. And I actually used a butane torch. I heated up the bolt, bent it, and fit it in. So this isn't going anywhere now. And I love it. It's so satisfying to actually have this, you know, in this sort of outfit, right? And you have this, and you actually, you know, it's like, oh, I feel like I'm in a reenactment now. So feels very nice, very clean. But that is also an example, a great example of taking an everyday item and turning it into an aspect of cosplay. Let's see, what else? Another one I'd like to touch on, because I have done this, I've become more aware of this recently. Two things, prototyping and safety. Now, a quick, because safety is pretty explanatory, always wear some safety goggles. If you're messing with chemicals like paint, glues, even when sanding, right? Respirator, face mask of some sort. I learned that the hard way. When I first started, I'm like, oh, I can just kind of put a, you know, a simple cloth over my face. It's not good enough. So, don't. Yeah. And then for, what was the other one? The prototyping. Prototyping is very important because, well, let's just say it makes everything 10 times easier. You know, making the Chainsaw Man helmet, I made one small prototype. Noticed I had the angle of the head wrong. Had to redo it. You know, it was too front facing. It looked way too blocky. You know what I mean? Another great example is, as you can probably see in the background, I kind of got a schematic for the smart gun from Aliens, correct? And the ammo drum I'm working on now. It was great to prototype. The cover to the, this is some old PVC pipe and everything that I'm going to use as the drum. And it was great. This is a cover on this ammo drum. And I prototyped it out on paper, the stencil. And I actually made a foam. Now I have the foam here, and if I ever need to replicate it, I always store my stencils, including for the Chainsaw Man helmet. They're stored away somewhere over there. Because if I ever need to repair it or remake it, you know, maybe it gets destroyed, I don't know. Well, I have the stencils, so it's very important to have those as an auxiliary to your actual props. Because, like, for instance, here, this helped me fit the actual cover on. And now I can do, let me look at the schematic, see. So this long piece goes here. Yes, and then can easily bend over those areas there. Right. Right. And the cover kind of goes on like so. But I just have to glue down the key points of it, but it fits. I know it fits because my stencil told me that it fits, which is very good. It saves time, it saves headache, that sort of thing. So, very important thing to learn is not just to jump into it. That was a horrible habit of mine when I first started this. I kind of just jumped in. I drew up a rough sketch and I jumped right in. Yeah. So, the 3 brief points, and really, this might be a one big tutorial video, right? Of concepts and fundamentals. From here, it might be actual showcases, because, to be honest, a lot of them carry throughout all projects. And like I said, some of them carry out through multiple aspects of real life. Safety and creativity and thinking outside the box. It's important for many things. And I think, in my personal opinion, semi-social political commentary, too many people just don't have that anymore. And it's, even as a younger guy, I find that rather saddening, Too many people aren't, out building and making stuff, and I don't know. It's, but I digress. This is meant to be a happy video. So, I'll go into probably some more collecting-based things when it comes to the next video. So, I'll have another small fundamentals one, but instead of making things and looking at what parts you can use, I will look at more collecting-based things, because that's always takes a little more of an eye, right? Actually, I was thinking of just this. This was a hat at Party City. It was some weird goth punk rock hat. I took off the weird pins and net meshing, right, and I redid it. Again, it took a bit of time to paint over the whole thing. Paint the metal nice gold, because it used to be silver, and all the little studs used to be silver as well. No, but anyway, I kind of just messed up the outro of the video. The point is, next video is going to be more about having an eye out for certain things to collect. Because a lot of what you actually see me wearing now are things I've also collected over the past roughly 8 years or so. Because, sure, I'm good at working with woods, metals, and plastics, but when it comes to softer material like fabric and leather, I'll admit I haven't had too much work in that. So a lot of it is things I have collected. And I'll also have some recommendations for where you can get things. So I'll start compiling that for the next video. Or a future video. How about that? So yes, that is going to be a start to the cosplay corner, and kind of an introduction to it all, and I hope you all found it somewhat informative or entertaining, or maybe have a new idea for, like, hey, you're probably thinking, hey, I have that item that is in my house, I don't really need it anymore, maybe I can turn that into a prop, right? Which, go ahead and pursue that. That is always nice to have some sort of hobby and side project to kind of keep the mind busy, right? So, I hope that helped you in some way. And I thank you all for joining me, for those that found me in the great ocean of YouTube. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.